Hi there, and welcome back to our coping skills series. I'm your host, Tom DeBray. If you're new to this channel, we're going through our coping skills class series, where we're going to be teaching about 16 different skills that you can use for anxiety, stress, and low mood. So today, we're going to be talking about the nervous system. We're not going to go into a huge amount of depth, but we are going to talk about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system because the, what we're going to be doing with the skills is going to be building on what these two systems do. So our sympathetic nervous system is our fight, flight, or freeze response. It's there designed to ramp up your body so that you can either get out of a situation, you can fight your way out of a situation, or you can stay in one space and hope that that situation goes somewhere else. Now, you can have these responses differently. So sometimes you might have the fight response, sometimes you might have the freeze response, and sometimes you might have the flight response. And it really kind of depends on what's kind of going on and what your brain is actually kind of deciding for you in that moment. So what this system does is it prepares your body for intense physical activity. So the very first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have an increased heart rate because that's what's going to get the adrenaline and cortisol pumping through your body. And from there, that cascades into rapid thought because you need to be thinking of multiple different solutions to your problem in a drop of a hat. You know, you're going to be increased alertness, you're going to have rapid short breathing, and your vision sharpens. And so in the short term, you know, the adrenaline is actually can be very life-saving because it gets you out of those very intense situations where you might be walking down the street and all of a sudden four guys are coming towards you and they don't look like they're going to be, you know, be nice to you. So that's what this system is designed for. It's to either fight, flight, or freeze. And this is the system that gets activated, oftentimes escalated, prematurely with anxiety. And so what we're going to be doing is all the skills that we're going to be showing you, particularly the behavior strategies that are going to be coming up, a lot of those are going to be designed on starting to disengage this system. Because unfortunately with anxiety, what ends up happening is this system gets triggered oftentimes when it doesn't need to be. And so we want to try and use our sympathetic nervous system. So the goal isn't going to be that we're ever going to eliminate a threat response in you. That's counterproductive and quite impossible. But what we are going to do is we are going to show you some ways that the sympathetic nervous system can either be like if there is a false threat response or you have an anxiety attack, that you can control those or at least try to bring those into a more uh, a better frame. And so so that's when we're talking about some of the strategies, that is the goal is, okay, we want to get from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic where you are going to start to relax. So with that, we're going to talk about the parasympathetic system. This is your rest and digest system. So this is the opposite of the sympathetic nervous system. This one slows your heart rate, it slows your thought process, it lowers your blood pressure, and it promotes relaxation and sleep. So what we want to do is we want to try and engage this, particularly in anxiety attacks. People can be quite elevated because one of the things is anxiety and depression aren't one or the other. A lot of people will report that they're feeling anxious and depressed at the same time. And so a lot of the symptoms that people, even if they have a diagnosis of depression, will often experience a lot of elevated symptoms that will be very close to anxiety. So, so that's what we're going to be trying to do. So when we start our next class, we're actually going to be getting into some of those skills where we're past all the theory part. So congratulations, you made it through that. And then we're going to start diving into some of the strategies that you can use to combat those symptoms of anxiety, stress, and low mood. So thank you for tuning in, and we're going to see you in the next session where we're going to be talking about breathing techniques. Thanks, and we'll see you then.